What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the All Access Podcast from Dent Repair Now. Guys, I know I'm a couple days late. This one's intentional, though. Decided to record this one on my drive to a training because I can kind of just let it flow. I want to talk about I want to talk about competitions in general, but specifically, I want to talk about the competition at CamAuto this past weekend up in Montreal. Now, I need to give you a disclaimer before we start talking. And this is why I've waited a couple of days to talk about this. I want to try to discuss my thoughts and feelings, but I don't want to sound like I'm being a little bitch or a sore loser or anything like that. I'm not upset, I'm not mad, I'm not angry. I think Charlie and CamAuto did an amazing job putting the event together. However, right? Some things I would like to see changed. Let's talk about the event first. Amazing turnout. I think there were 10 GPR, PDR competitors right on the big smash like we did last year. And then 4 of us for the glue pull only repair. It was a full house. I think that space, that building, and the tent were absolutely at max capacity. I don't think you could squeeze any more competitors in. That being said, Charlie did say that next year this event will be in Dallas at their Dallas location. So that bodes well. A little easier for at least me to travel, right? Domestically is easier than internationally. Awesome turnout. Congratulations to Diego for winning the GPR PDR competition. Vladimir, congratulations on runner-up. Super close competition there. They said it was within a half a point, or a half a point is what separated first and runner-up. Like, that's close. And I didn't get to look at Diego's repair, but I did get to see Vladimir's, and like incredibly impressive repairs for these door smashes. Bryce Kelly, you better watch out. I think these guys are coming for you. And then, of course, congratulations to Wei Wu from China on winning the GPR competition. I really don't know how he could have I don't know how he could have made a better repair, like a truly fantastic repair. I knew about 4:30 on Saturday when I went over and looked at Wei's repair. I knew he beat me, and rightfully so. Beat me. Like he truly did an amazing repair. The smash was all 4 smashes on the GPR, right? Like into the door jamb, folded open, some edge damage, the edge of the quarter panel going in, and I thought Wei was really struggling to get his edge up, to get the gap right, and man, he persevered through and just absolutely killed it. So Wei, congratulations again, man. Fantastic repair. This year was 2 days instead of 3. And really the third day last year was sort of prep and drawing numbers and open house, all that fun stuff. This year, it all started Friday morning. So I think at 9 a.m. We had to be there, and we got our tools unloaded and drew took photos, drew numbers, group photo, individual photos, so on and so forth. And man, so we get there Friday morning and started looking around, and the damage is just gnarly, especially on the Kia, right? So I think, last episode I was sort of willing it out there, trying, but I didn't do it, or Way did a better job. Tried to put it out there and will it into existence, or demand it into existence to bring that trophy home, and I got humbled, but that's all good. That did not come from, or certainly wasn't supposed to come from a place of arrogance. That was coming from a place of confidence, trying to put it out there. Little law of attraction stuff. Anyways, when we went and looked at the cars, the gaps on the Escape were huge. Like, honestly, Way's gap was like you could almost stick a fist in there. It was so opened up. On the Kia, there's a gas door side. Yay me. You could stick, the better part of your hand into the jam. And then Gonzalo's side was huge, half or 3/4 of the quarter panel smashed in with a huge gap. Ugly damage. Really, much like that smash damage on the doors, certainly last year. It would never fix that. Like, it just doesn't make sense. It would never make sense to try or to limit yourself to only glue pull on the on these quarter panels. Like, just absolutely insane. I'll see if we can't get some video edited into here showing the repair, or showing the before and after and all that good stuff. Anyways, when I looked at the damage, I think, maybe you call it destiny, call it whatever you want. When I looked at it, I'm like, man, I don't want number 2. I really don't. I don't want that. I don't want the gas door side of the Kia. Well, just like last year, I got to drop my number first, and son of a bitch, right? I opened it up and saw number 2. I'm like, oh, shit. Oh, here we go. We're going to see what we can do. So, the damage, once we get started, we got the door jamb blown in, like really a giant high buckle well into the jam. Certainly this would get a quarter panel, I would think, at a body shop. Already some broken paint, but I sort of figured broken paint into the mix. Like, the doors had broken paint last year, so there's going to be broken paint. Certainly on the GPR move, right? Like, this is damage that a body man or body tech would go after. Up against some, it was kind of weird. So typically, right around a gas door pocket, you've got, what, a 1/2 inch of double panel. This, about 3 inches left, maybe 4 left of the gas door. I had a really hard buckle out that was like a perfect straight line into like a swooping 90 corner and back towards the fuel opening itself. Clearly some interstructure. Hard fold buckle directly straight down from the fuel door, right? Like, the fuel door went in and created a little kink. And then, unbeknownst to me, in the beginning, there must be some sort of light structure or something inside of the panel, because in the middle of the panel, when I would pull, it had a pretty distinct horizontal soft spot. You'd pull and it would come up, and then it would just suck back in. Like you couldn't pull it off of the glue. It wouldn't give up. And I'm not allowed to touch the back side of the panel. So there's that. And then the worst spot was fuel door, body line above the fuel door, right where it enters the jam, it kinked. It was folded. The jam, right? Like, so the jam, it goes over and down, and then you're in the jam. That body line where it goes into the jam, right? Like outer panel to inner panel, or outside to inside the jam, was literally folded over on itself. Like it was a pinch. The edge of the metal was just, it was folded. Like, oh, gnarly. Hard to fix, even if you had a push tool or a stud welder and could get on that. Hard to move. And broken paint right there. Like right in that kink. Of course there's broken paint, because it's just not going to stay together with that. So that's what my damage looks like. Like, it is freaking gnarly. Again, not that I didn't expect gnarly damage at this competition. Last year, and I know I made it vocal on here, certainly made it vocal in some private conversations, and I think other people went back to Charlie and talked to him about the spread of damage on the smashes at last year's event. You know, there were literally Korean doors, which is what I had, and German doors, and some were hit so hard that the buckles blew the paint off. Others hardly had a kink at all. Like the damage was really all over the board, and there was a distinct advantage to, obviously, somebody who's working on German metal with German paint is in better shape than somebody working on Korean metal with Korean paint. Like, just a fact. And the damage last year, I don't know if it was created with a sledgehammer or a foot or whatever it was, but it was relatively, well, not relatively, it was very inconsistent on the doors. So if you've watched any of CamAuto's videos, I'll see if we can find one and put it up there. Charlie made a tool, or it's like a cage, and I don't know what he's dropping in it, bowling ball maybe, something bowling ball-esque, where it's the same height, it's the same drop. Like, he made actually very consistent damage. I don't know that he was able to get exactly the same doors across the board. I didn't look at it that close. Had my hands full with my repair. But across the board, the damage was much fairer, much more consistent than the previous year. So Charlie, tip of the hat to you for taking feedback and listening and making the competition better. Now, on to the GPR competition. I really just have a couple complaints, I suppose it is. But again, right back to that disclaimer at the beginning. I'm not mad, sad, upset, anything with the repair. Like, I drew my number and I put out the best repair possible, and I'm super happy with my repair, and Way just beat my ass on the competition. First complaint is I was on a Kia. It was a Forte, whatever it was. Anyways, little Kia car. I was on a car. So me and Gonzalo were on a car. So first disadvantage there is, instead of being able to stand up for this repair, we spent 2 days, like, my knees are still sore, right, kneeling down, bending down, twisting, physically brutal. Like, even Craig Dyer came over and he's like, dude, you're tough as nails. He goes, I don't know how you're able to get down on your knees. And then we were at the awards ceremony, and they were trying to do a group picture, and the whole group was too wide. So they're like, oh, some people, come on up front and kneel down, and, being the real tall guy that I am, I was like, I run up front and I kneel down, and I'm like, oh, all right. And Craig was like, hey, I saw you wincing when you went in for that picture. Like, it was brutal. In fact, I still have a bruise on my leg from where I was trying to jammed in the car and got my arm on there and holding and tapping. And the guys, so Way and Nazar on the Escape, they got to stand up for 2 days. So that's a difference, right? Like, car, low to the ground, versus mid-size SUV, you can stand up. But, whatever. I'm not, again, it is what it is. I'll contort myself into whatever position I need to. 2, right? So first we have car versus SUV. Then, right, if we're talking about smash repair, 2 of us are working on a Kia, cheap Korean metal, and 2 people, right, Nazar and Way, are working on a Ford. Domestic, well, maybe it's not domestic in Canada, but American metal. Big difference there. Then there's the damage, right? So, and I don't have a solution, right? There's got to be one that could be made, but I don't have the solution. And even Charlie was like, listen, I made this device for smashing the doors. He's like, I don't know what we could do to make the quarter panel smashes more consistent. Honestly, haven't thought about it that much, but maybe a pendulum that just comes down and hits it. But, neither here nor there. So, inconsistency of impact. But whatever, right? A dent's a dent, I suppose. A couple of critiques I saw there. One, in the video of the damage being made, there's it was a twist. Charlie was doing a twist. Maybe we can put the Chubby Checkers twist song in there. Don't do that, I'll probably get a copyright strike. Anyways, the one panel didn't go far enough, so he hit it twice. So then you got 2 impacts versus 1 impact. That changes how the metal moves. The distortion that the Kia gave, right? I talked about and discussed all of the inner structure and the extra shape around the gas door on my side is what it is, right? I understand there's a gas door side and a not gas door side. That's just how cars are made. And then, right, so I had all that structure. Poor Gonzalo, I believe he had 2 impacts at the edge, and his damage extended, over halfway back through the quarter panel. His dent was gigantic. Then we go over to the Escape. Now, right, there's some disadvantages to the Escape. You've got a convex curve at the top into a sharp body line into a concave and down in. Both of those gaps were big, but given the shape of the panel, neither of the dents on the Escape moved back very far, right? There was not a lot of damage that extended rearward off of the jam. I really think and feel that the damage should have at least been on the same kind of car. Maybe even if you wanted to if you still couldn't get 2 sedans or 2 SUVs, I don't think that it should be Korean metal versus American metal. Just 2 different worlds. I don't think that it should be a car versus an SUV, right? Distinct advantages, disadvantages there. What are your thoughts? Like, I've talked to a lot of people since the event, even a lot of people at the event, and they were like, man, you kind of got hosed there. Like, that's way worse than this, or you're up against this instead of that. And it's not that, like, so when I say, oh, dude, you got hosed, I don't mean that I got hosed. There was nothing intentional about, like, hey, man, I hope Gene gets this quarter panel, except for my dumbass looking at 2 and going, I don't want that. I think I willed that into existence. Yeah, good job, bud. Anyways, it's a random drawing. Like, it had a 1 in 4 chance of getting that panel. I think that there shouldn't be a distinct disadvantage on any of the nets, right? Like, I would have felt bad if anybody got my quarter. I felt bad that I got my quarter panel. And I'm not saying, by no means, that I'm a better technician than Wei Wu. In fact, I think on the technical side of pushing, he's probably better than I am. Like, he's a hell of a competitor. He's always in the running at the, the Olympics and everything like that. I just would have liked to seen it on a more even playing field, to see where we stack up. But I like bygones be bygones. It is what it is. Again, look, driving past a blue Escape right now that looks exactly like the one from the competition. My PTSD kick. No, I'm just kidding. It's not. It's just a dent. I'm really not sweating it that bad. Super happy with my repair. Like, actually took that repair farther than I ever thought I could go with glue. In fact, right, Stefan Eschi was there. Shout out for the extra eyes and looking and, the discussions and everything. Stefan, and like the scariest part coming up in 1 second, cliffhanger. He came up and he looked at the edge right where it was kinked, and he was like, dude, I never thought that it would even be possible with glue to get that kink, that fold out, as far as you did. Like, lots of things that I'm very proud of on that repair. Lots of things that I learned on that repair. Very similar experience to that BMW from Level Up that kicked my ass. Right, it was super difficult, but you learned a ton in the repair. Like, really, really stoked of how it came out. And man, it was awesome. And I can't remember his name, but shout out to the gentleman that was so impressed with how we were moving and what we were doing. It brought me a beautiful bottle of 12-year-old scotch. Thank you, sir. Cheers to you. I will certainly enjoy a nip of that here and there. Like, thank you very much. It was amazing. I wish we could have got together for dinner, but traffic and schedules just didn't work out. So, scariest part of the repair, right? As so wrap day 1, got the edge back pretty good, but still fighting that kink. And it was right before I laid down to go to bed. I'm like, man, excuse me. What's the move? I had heavy tension going up and down. I'm like, how do I get more tension to try to help unfold this fold, like literally unfold the fold? What can we do? And I was like, all right, so I'll open it up. We'll go tension up and down this way. And then maybe, because it's sort of driven into the jam, I'm like, I'm going to pull back away also, like try to move towards the back of the car with tension. I'm like, oh, no big deal. So I can put a tab in front of the gas door, in front of the fuel pocket, and I'll put the other foot on the back door, and like that'll give me enough power to spread and pull and move the tension rearward. So he set up, and I do that. Like I had that little flash of how I want to do it before I go to bed, and I'm like, all right, when I go in tomorrow, I'm going to tackle it this way. This is what we're going to do. And if I have time, right, was the thought, right? Because it's, again, Jean, thanks for the conversations and strategy on, like, everybody's struggling with the edge part. Let's concentrate on making the rest as clean as we can, and then if time allows, we'll go with the edge. Well, as the day progressed, Melissa went and looked, and she's like, hey, everybody's edge is looking pretty good, or kink right in the edge. You better make sure you go after that. So maybe it was right after lunch. I said, all right, the panel's cleaning up really nice. After lunch, I'm going to come back and go after that kink. So tension up and down, tension rearward, really trying to just give that metal somewhere to go. I put a K-Power with tab straps on, and like, dude, I'm not even sending it. Like, I'm just putting good tension on, and this the door, right, because I've been sweating the gap, right, to make the gap right, and I finally got the gap exactly where I wanted it to be, and I hit this tension, and the door moves forward a 1/4 of an inch. Like, the back door moved forward a 1/4 inch and slid under the front door. Instant freak out mode, right? Like, this is way outside of my wheelhouse. I can't, like, the door moved forward? How? What? Why? I open the front door, look at the hinges, I don't see anything. I'm like, hey, babe, go find Stefan. Like, I need, like, a body man's point of view on this. I don't know what the hell's going on. And he's looking, and he's like, man, I've never seen anything like this before in my life. This is crazy. He's like, I don't know. He's like, the hinges moved, and he looks, and he's like, I don't see any paint change. Like, he's like, maybe it folded. I don't know what happened. He's like, I'll get a wrench, and if we have to realign the door, we'll realign the door, and, like, just work through what you got to work through back there. And total panic mode. So this would have been like 2 o'clock on Friday. So I've got 3 hours left in the repair time, and I'm up against this, like, whole new set of problems. And I know I'm under the gun, and I know how good Way's looking. He may have even been done or close to done at that point. Work through it. Get some great moves, like the Kiko Dead Center Super Tabs were little incredible heroes in moving up that edge with the tension. Then, thank goodness, we take the tension off, and the door, like, springs back into place. Like, blows my mind how soft or weak that Kia door was. Like, oh my Lord. Anyways, power through. Is what it is. I really make the panel as clean as I can make it, wet sand it. I believe Stefan said, like, man, you're less than a wipe here. So we went from, like, buckled, folded, and smashed to less than a wipe, and this thing's ready to go. Most of it probably would have been, you know, heavy sand and primer is how close we got it. Super happy with the repair. Honored to be one of 4 people in the world that were selected to do that competition. Like, that's amazing. However, Charlie, dude, we got to work on making the damage more even, just like you did on the doors. Let your little inventor brain, like your little crazy dude inside there that comes up with your amazing inventions, let that voice work on how you can make consistent damage on the quarter panels to even the field on those GPR quarter panel smashes. Like, that's those thoughts. That's there. Now, to point out that, like, and really I'm not picking on Charlie. I love him. I think this is a great event. It was an amazing event last year. They did an even better job this year. However, right, like, I think it could be better. But that being said, even, you know, your Den Olympics, which is the longest running competition out there, there are discrepancies in that damage. If you got 4 dents on a door, the most forward dent and the most rearward dent are in a better position than the 2 middle dents, right? Those 2 middle dents can and will be affected by the dents on opposite sides. You know, if you're really talking even, front door is different than back door. Like, I just don't know that it's possible to make a perfectly fair fight. But I think it can be done better. Like, for what it's worth. You know, yeah, I don't know. And again, no hard feelings, not upset, not mad, not anything. I just wish that it were. I wish it were. I just wish that it was a slightly more even playing field. But to that, congratulations to the winners. Right, Wei Wu, amazing job, dude. Congratulations. Diego, congratulations. Maybe the most happy winner, dude, I've ever seen. Like, I don't know that I've ever seen a more gracious winner than Diego. Diego, hats off to you. And Vladimir, I don't know that I've ever seen anybody much happier on the podium. Like, the smile on your face when you got that runner-up was amazing. There's a photo on Instagram, like, where you're like mid-hoist with the trophy. So cool. So cool. So, anyways, guys, thanks for listening to me bitch and moan a little bit for half an hour. Check out the repair. I'll see if I can't get Liv to edit that into here and show all the things that I talked about. Onward and upward. Don't forget, PDR Expo is coming up at the end of September, 25, 26, 26, 27, whatever Friday, Saturday is. Doing the big roundtable talk on Friday with Kevin Bird and the crew. And Saturday, we are diving into cold glue, the good, bad, the ugly, little classroom first. And then the second half is hands-on, whole new experience at the MTE PDR Expo education series style events. So anyways, that's that. Thank you so much for listening, watching, whatever. Hit me at, like, what are your thoughts? Am I wrong? Am I being a little bitch? Because if I'm being a little bitch, call me out, because that's not what I want to do. I just want to see competitions get better and level up. And again, Charlie, amazing event, huge increase or improvement from last year on the doors. Let's try to make next year on the glue the same way you did the doors this year. Like, let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can get together. Hell, I'm happy to collaborate on it and get after it. I'm not sure if I have enough energy to go back and put myself through that again, but you never know, especially if it is, you know, a more even playing field. So anyways, guys, that's it. That's the show. I will have the show out to you on your regularly scheduled Monday next week. Until then, I'll see you.